Okay, so here's our notes for standard form. So remember, standard form is AX plus BY is equal to C, and this is on your formula chart. So here, let's look at our first situation here. It says chips cost $3.50, sodas cost $5, and you spent a total of $15.50. So up here, we want to put this situation into standard form, where X is going to be the number of bags of chips that we buy, Y is going to be the number of sodas, and then it tells us the total is $15.50. So to get that into standard form, okay, since chips is X, sodas are Y, then that's going to be $3.50 times X plus 5Y is equal to $15.50. So here is your equation in standard form. Now if you notice on Desmos, if I try to type this in standard form, $3.50 X plus 5Y equals $15.50, you notice I get an error right here. And what does it say? Alright, so on the star version of Desmos, we can't plug the graph in, or plug the equation in to look at the graph. So is what we need to do, we need to do what's called solving for Y. So when we solve for Y, we want to get Y all by itself on the left side, everything else on the right. It's also called putting it into slope-intercept form. So this is slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So we want to take our equation that's in standard and we want to convert it to slope-intercept form. And that process is called solving for Y. So here's our first step. So again, we want to get the Y all by itself. So we're going to go minus 3.50x. And then over here, we're going to go minus 350x. Just like that. And so 350x minus 350x, that cancels, and so that's going to give us 5y is equal to 1550 minus 350x. So now look, I have 5y all by itself on the left side, everything else on the right. But now I have to cancel out this 5. So since this is 5 times y, I'm going to divide this by 5 and divide each term by 5. Okay, so 5 divided by 5, that's 1. Okay, so we can write that as 1y is equal to, and then 1550 divided by 5, let me zoom in. Hang on just a second. Okay, there we go. So 1550 divided by 5, that is 310. And then negative 350 divided by 5, that's going to be 0.70x. Now this 1y is just the same thing as y. So in slope-intercept form, this is going to be y equals 310 minus 0.70x. Okay? And so now I can see what my slope is. My slope is going to be right here. So right there is my slope. So here I'll put 0.70. Alright? And then B represents the y-intercept. And so it's going to be 3.10. So now I have this graph plugged into my Desmos. So let's look. And there it is. So 310 minus 0.70x. Also, look at what happens when I convert this to a table. So if I go 350 times x plus whatever the y value is times 5, that's going to equal 15. Now notice we don't have whole numbers here, but if I enter 3, okay, so I get 3 and 1, and 3 is going to be our bags of chips. So if you notice 3 bags of chips, that's going to be, let's see, 1050. and then one bag or one soda, which is $5, so that'll add up to $15.50. Alright, so now notice, go ahead. So what I want you to do is to plug this into Desmos. Make sure you write all these steps down. Alright, and then plug it into Desmos, and then you can either copy the graph from here for the one we just did, or copy it from Desmos. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here is the next one. This is on the right side of your notes page. So at Target, shirts cost $7, pants cost $10, and you spent a total of $70. So if I go up here, notice I have X is going to represent the number of shirts, Y is the number of pants, and then the total is going to be $70. So since shirts is X, pants is Y, so that's going to be 7X plus 10Y is equal to 7. Alright, so now on this one, we want to go ahead and get that in slope-intercept form. Okay, so again, we're converting this to slope-intercept form, which means we want to get Y by itself. We want to get it into this form. Y is equal to mx plus b. Okay. Now this whole process is also called solving for Y. So make sure you write that down. This is called solving for Y. This helps us to go from standard to slope-intercept form. Alright, so our first step here, we always want to cancel out the x. So the opposite of 7x is minus 7x. Alright, so 7x minus 7x, that gives us 0, so we can cancel that out. And then we're going to bring down the 10y is equal to, oh, and I got to subtract 7x over here as well. Now we're going to bring down the 70 minus 7x. And so now we're not finished yet, but we have 10y by itself. So since this is, the coefficient is 10, we're going to divide all three terms by 10. We're going to divide all three terms by 10. So here we go. So 10 divided by 10, that's going to give us 1y is equal to 70 divided by 10 is 7. And then minus 7 over 10x. Okay. Now 1y, that's the same thing as y. So our final answer here, or equation, will be this. Y is equal to 7 minus 7 over 10x. So again, I plug that into Desmos, and here is what the equation looks like. Okay, so if I convert this to a table, again I went there, and then I went to table, okay. Alright, notice we don't have any whole, well here we have whole numbers, so we can buy 0 shirts and then 7 pairs of pants, and that'll give us $70. See, what about 3, 4, 5, oh, let's see, 6, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there we go, 10. So I can also buy, if I wanted to, buy 10 shirts, but 0 pairs of pants, and that'll give me $70 as well. Okay, so I forgot to put in the slope. So here, notice, oops. Okay, I made a mistake there. Alright, so notice this slope is negative. Alright, whoops. So notice the slope here is negative, so make sure you make that negative. Okay, my bad. Now on this one, Okay, our slope is negative 7 over 10x. Here our slope, so we want to make our slope negative 7 over 10, just like that. And then our y-intercept will be 7. Okay, so make sure you copy all of that onto your notes. Now let's look at the graph in the middle. Okay, so we have the graph in the middle. Notice we have these two lines. And so write a sentence right here in this box. What do you notice about these two lines? All right, thanks a lot.